Hi everyone, welcome back to BS Rambles. Today's video is a little bit different than the others. These are actually going to be more similar to my original videos that I was making on this channel. So if you enjoy this one, you can probably wind it back to some of the first ones I was ever making with these nasty thumbnails that my friend who actually is pretty successful on YouTube was so pissed off when he looked at them. He saw them and was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Nobody is ever going to click on your videos. And then I went into and then I improved it a little bit, and that was like a year and a half ago, and it wasn't until about 2 weeks ago that people actually started watching. But something that happened during that period is I realized that I was having so much trouble with thumbnails because I was making videos that people probably wouldn't give a shit about. More similar to this one that you're watching right now, because it didn't have a specific topic. It was just going to be me talking very generally about kind of everything. The most recent video I did sort of like that would be the 400 subscriber special, where it's not really about heroes, it's just like me goofing around. But yeah, in the 400 subscriber video special, I joked about getting my first 1,000 subscribers, or my first 400 subscribers actually, hence the 400 subscriber special, and how I had quit my job and moved to the mountains. And if anyone of my friends watched that video, they know that that's actually all true. I did quit my job, I did move to the mountains with my girlfriend, and that click-clacking that you hear in the background is my girlfriend's dog, who's this 115-pound German Shepherd that I now share this little basement suite with that I live in. And he takes up a lot of it, and I think he's got like a deviated septum or something. Like, you know when people breathe through their mouths like crazy? Like, my little brother used to be just like the kingpin mouth breather. Like, if they had a club, he was the leader of that club. And it would be like, the one rule to getting into the club is that you were not allowed to use your nose ever. You always had to have your mouth at least partially opened, and the trick to being a really good mouth breather is to do that with a really, really relaxed face. So it's like, if you want to be in the mouth breather club, you gotta relax every muscle in your face and just kind of let your jaw hang there, and that's where you mouth breathe from. And that's this fucking dog as well. To credit to my little brother, he actually did have a deviated septum in the end, and he had to get surgery for it. And that's like, obviously we're not going to get surgery for this fucking dog, because I think that he's not like a physical reason for his mouth breathing. I just think he's just like the typical fucking idiot, and that's why he always breathes through his mouth. Yeah, now I'm in this small town in the mountains, and it was hilarious moving here. So I had to bring all my stuff, all my girlfriend's stuff. Her parents came, my parents came, and there was all this stuff. And particularly one thing was this freaking oak entertainment system that I love, because I've got it like, it's got one nice big cabinet where I put all my stuff, and then it's got this tiered system on the left hand side of it it's about 4 or 5 feet high, this thing, but it's got 6 levels to it, so I can put every game console that I have on there. So I've got like my PlayStation 4, my PlayStation 3, my PlayStation 2, and then I've got my N64, my Wii, and my Super Nintendo all tiered out on there, and it's just organized beautifully. So I love this thing, and I knew I had to bring it, but it weighs probably 500 pounds. Like, it is messed up how much it weighs. And one of the things I noticed when I've got her dad and my stepdad helping me out with moving this thing is that a middle-aged man would rather die under a dresser than admit that it's too heavy, because it was so hilarious. They literally would have died underneath it. Like, my little brother and I were working with this thing for like 20 minutes, because I lived on the 4th floor of an old apartment building prior to moving into this basement suite. So it was a struggle getting it down. And like, it took my little brother, his wife, and myself just absolutely wrestling with this thing. And then as soon as my stepdad and my girlfriend's dad showed up, they wanted to help too, right? And they're like, so they go, oh, I've moved the dresser before. They tried picking up the side, and this thing right away just like does not fucking budge. But they were willing to put it all on the line. There was no way that in front of me, in front of my girlfriend, little brother, his wife, their wives, that they were going to admit that this dresser was anything other than no problem. And it got to the point where, like, everyone was, like, biting their nails. They're like, holy shit, like, these two dads are just gonna put their backs out any second, because they're, like, all red and sweaty. And, oh, it was hilarious. Like, we were all genuinely worried that they were gonna die when they were moving these things, because this thing is insanely heavy. And that's, like, some superhero, and, like, you talk about dad strength. That's, like, real deal dad strength, and it doesn't come from a place of, like, heroic protection. It just comes from a place of, like, not being able to admit that you're not, like, super strong, you know? It reminds me of, like, the equivalent that girls have, because girls don't have that huge ego when it comes to strength for the most part. But one of the things it reminded me of is how tough girls are when they're embarrassed. Now, for example, like, if you've ever seen a girl take a hit, like, we were playing basketball with this girl, and it's in this tiny little junior high school gym, and it's cement walls on every side, and it's super dangerous because the walls on the court are really, really close to the sidelines, and this one girl sprints in for a layup, trips at the last second, good, and just, like, full on, her body was like a bow, like, her feet planted and her back flexed, and she just slingshotted her head into this cement wall. And, like, I thought she was going to be unconscious. I thought we were going to the hospital, but because it's a girl, and, like, nothing is tougher than an embarrassed girl, she just took this shit on the chin, was like, back up in a second, like, I'm fine, no problem, no one talk about this, please, let's just all move on. She comes and sits on the bench next to me, and I'm looking at her face, and this goose egg is just growing and growing and growing to the point where it's taken up, like, a third of her entire forehead, and it's changing from dark red to, like, brown almost. Like, it was getting, like, that purpley brown in that transition color. I mean, instant bruising to the point where I was looking at her and be like, is her skull cracked? And she's sitting there trying to play it off like nothing happened, and oh my god, it was so funny. And the next time that we went to that gym, there was pads up, of course, because obviously whoever, like, the referee there had a look at that and was like, holy shit. So someone almost died by ramming their face into our wall yesterday. She's 100% fine, but we need to get some walls up here. Yeah, back to moving in here. Like, I've got this fucking dog walking around here, and I've had dogs most of my life, but I've also lived on my own for about 4 years in my own little bachelor pad. And so it's been kind of an adjustment having this fucking freeloader. He's sitting over there just staring at me right now, living with me. And my girlfriend already wants to get more animals. She's suggesting stupid shit like ponies. She's like, I want a pony. I want a cat. Like, how about no more freeloaders in this house that just create work? Like, a fucking cat brings nothing. Yeah, it's cute, but, like, there's other shit that's cute that doesn't live in your house. I don't know. Can't think of an example right now because cats are pretty freaking adorable, but they're also just bastards that just hang out and steal all your food. And what do they give in exchange? Like, at least this guy, I like this guy a little bit because I feel like he'd put his life on the line for me. Like, if a bear showed up, because like I said, I'm way in the mountains now. So, like, if a bear showed up, a cougar, wolves, whatever, I'm pretty sure. And there's also, like, a shitload of crackheads where I live. I guess we need to come up with a new name for crackheads, because these aren't crackheads anymore. These are fentanyl heads, and they're totally worse than crackheads, because fentanyl is just such a horrible drug, and it's so easy to get addicted to. Like, crackheads, you didn't get addicted to crack without doing crack first, right? But these poor fentanyl people, like, they get addicted to fentanyl just because they go to the doctor and they end up getting prescribed painkillers, and people are like, oh, you like that shit? Because I have that stuff. I can just sell it to you. And then they're like, it actually works way better if you just blast it into your arm. And then next thing you know, I'm walking down the street, and this dude's that looks just like me, like a 24-year-old dude. He probably traveled to this beautiful town that we live in, and he's just fucking stuck here. That's not what I wanted to get to. Anyway, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I could send her walking down that street. No one would fuck with her with this big guy. Even though he's, like, a total pussy dog. Like, as far as German Shepherds go, I used to think that they were like tough, and I was even a little bit scared of them. Like, I've grown up with golden retrievers, which is just like the noodle fluff of all dogs. You know, they're so sweet, and they can never do any harm. And then this German Shepherd's just this fucking Rin Tin Tin badass thing built for war. Meanwhile, this guy's the biggest pussy I've ever met in my life. He's such a little suck up, and like just nothing but sweet and cuddly, and it's nice. He's a bastard with dogs that are nice to him. Like, if there's puppies, he's mean to puppies. And like, if a dog comes up with their tail wagging, he's super mean to that. But like, if a dog comes up and attacks him, he'll just drag it back to us. Like, I've literally seen a lab come up, bite him on the back hard, like snarling and hard, and he literally walked back to us without fighting that dog, and was just like dragging this lab behind him. And then I just like swat the lab in the face, get the fuck off my dog. And then he's just like totally calm, looks at me like, thanks bro, I didn't want to have to escalate that. Total bro pet. But he pisses me off when he, like, the nicest that he gets, like every once in a while he'll be kind of weird, and he's just being like really sweet, really cute, looking at you with his little eyes, rubbing up against you, and then you realize that he's just got this giant boner. And I'm like, what am I to you? Like, do you enjoy my affection, or are you just like horny and trying to rub on something that's alive right now? And anytime I notice his dick out, I just send him away. Like, get the fuck away from me with that thing. The worst thing that ever happened was he ate a tennis ball. It was actually super embarrassing for me, because I gave him this tennis ball. I feel bad for him. We hadn't walked him yet that day. He looked a little bit bored. I was like, let him chew on a tennis ball for a little while. My girlfriend's like, he's going to eat it. I'm like, he's not an idiot. Like, this is supposed to be the smartest breed. He's not going to eat it. He ate it. He gets super sick. It blocks his intestine. We had to take him to the vet. He ended up needing surgery, so he has to get surgery. They have to shave his entire belly. And then when he comes home from surgery, I don't know if you've ever seen what a dog looks like shaved, but it's gross looking. And dogs are are ugly animals with cute fur. And that was so real when I was looking at him. And the grossest part was that he was like, it's like his hair was his pants before, and now he was just like free dicking in my apartment. And it was so obnoxious, and it really felt like he just like was running the show. Like, anytime he's like asking for a treat, he's just like got his dick out, and it went from like a cute puppy begging to like, I feel like this guy's just like, hey, give me a treat or I'll fuck your girlfriend or some shit. Like, he's just weighing out in there, and it's so abrasive and gross that I didn't want to be his friend. I told my girlfriend, I was like, can you just keep this thing out of my apartment until he grows back his hair, because I cannot have this in my apartment. I'm the man of this house, and this 115-pound dog's dick is bigger than mine, and I just cannot have that exposed in my space. So it has to stop, and it has to go. And she didn't really understand that. And she couldn't understand that, and I don't expect her to, because she's a girl. And girls don't get that type of thing. But hopefully you guys do, because according to YouTube statistics, 99.2% of my viewership is male. And so just like quick shout out to the ladies out there, all like 5 or 6 of you. What's up? Yeah, but it's been sweet living in this place. I was at I give you an idea what I did yesterday. I played squash, and then we went to this giant pier. It's this old logging company that has this huge pier that they abandoned like 100 years ago. It's one of the oldest places in Canada. Too many hints I could give you guys before someone guesses where I live. But it's this old logging company, and they have this giant pier. It's about 60 feet up with a cement top that just overhangs the lake. So we just went cliff jumping there. I realized I forgot my glasses when I went, and there's like glass all over the ground there, because there's so many, like, it's a bit of a party town, which isn't really my scene at all. I'm more of like a Heroes of the Storm YouTuber, as you can tell. So like, my ideal night is like maybe a cup of tea, maybe a beer, and I'm just gonna play video games with my brothers. Meanwhile, everyone else is like, I only like to get fucked up like 4 or 5 times a week, just for like health reasons. Like, I'm really into my personal health, so I try to not get, like, I try to make like Wednesday is like every week I have a me day on Wednesday, and that's when I'll like I try to drink water instead of beer, And it's just, I think it's really important for personal health to do that type of thing. Anyway, back to my glasses. One thing I realized, like, I got glasses late in my life, and something that I realized I was doing was staring at people big time. Like, people talk about, like, all the changes they go through when they get glasses. A lot of people talk about the clouds. A lot of people talk about grass or tree leaves. Big thing I noticed was people's faces, because I had never really been able to look at people before, and everyone looked kind of perfect. And then you put on glasses, and I'm like, oh, look at this fucking freckle face over here, or like pimple face or whatever, right? And then, like, I'm noticing hairs that are out of place. Before that, everyone had like anime hair where it's just like all perfectly in place, because I had no way of seeing the stragglers of the baby hairs sticking out, right? But like, I thought that people's distance where you could tell where they were looking was like 4 feet. So I would see somebody, like, if I'm walking down a hallway, I would see someone like 100 feet away, and I would just stare at them. And I would stare at them for like 20 seconds while we walked together. And then we get within 6 feet away, and I realize this motherfucker's staring at me. I'm like, what the fuck's this guy looking at? And that happened all the time. Like, why is this guy mad dogging me like I've done something to him? It's because I've just been staring at him with this stupid ass quizzical face for the last 20 seconds. And I did that to everybody. Everybody. I don't know if you guys have been watching this game at all, but I think Alexstraza is like the best healer in the game. She's so fun. She's just got like that double raid boss mechanic. This cleansing flame is such an insane ultimate, and then you get to go dragon form after that. Like, she's the one of the cooler characters. Like, she reminds me of Ragnaros, where they're just like, let's just give the people what they want. What do they want? They probably want to play as a ginormous dragon and just make her epic. And that was part of the reason why I was so underwhelmed with the white mane hero release. Like, they're looking on their screen right now, like, you got Azmodan, Phoenix, Urel, even though, like, people weren't really asking for Urel for a Ret Paladin, but she's still got really cool mechanics, and I just felt like white mane was a little bit lackluster. But obviously people heavily disagreed with me, which I suppose is a good thing, because people are enjoying a new hero. That's not where I wanted to go with this. It's weird getting used to living with my girlfriend now. Like, I've just been bachelor padding it forever, right? When I first moved in, she's got like a bunch of tiny spoons, and I'm like, what the hell are those for? She's like, these are teaspoons. I was like, I don't know, it seems useless. And what else is there? Oh, she bought these new bed sheets. She's all excited about these linen bed sheets that she got for us. Like, yeah, well, like, I've never ever thought about bed sheets in my entire life. Like, that's never consumed any portion of my mind. But like, if they're nice, I mean, I like cozy bed. But one thing that's tragic about them, like, the most annoying thing about bed sheets is making your bed, sticking the sheets over the duvet cover or whatever it's called. And I had this one that always used to really piss me off because it had buttons. So you'd stick the duvet in, and then you have to close up the bottom afterwards, right? Like a pillowcase, kind of. Giant pillowcase. And I'd get so annoyed because I'm like, why the fuck would this be buttons? Because I got this other one that's a zipper, right? And the zipper works great. The one that she bought has tassels, and you have to literally individually tie like 13 tassels and then untie them every time you want to change it. So it's just like the ultimate level of bullshit thing. Anyways, game's over, so I'll wrap this up. Thanks guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I think I'm going to do more like this in the future because I do enjoy making this type of video. So thanks very much guys, take care, have a great week, bye.